several things both revealed. The purpose of the document is to defend herself and redacted.
What's the move?
Take accountability for several things both revealed in the original documents and not publicly known information, and refute misconceptions that came out of the documents. Sinder would state that the document has speculative information that is mostly supported with evidence, and would call out the individuals who harassed anyone involved in the situation. The accusations. Sinder would explicitly call out 3 individuals for being the main perpetrators of the controversy.
Who?
Analysts for allegedly spreading significant slander and misinformation regarding her experience with Redacted.
Lily.
Shy Lily for allegedly, quote, orchestrating things behind the scenes and public manipulation. And Silvervale for allegedly lying about all of their interactions with Sinder.
Okay.
She would state that out of everyone involved in this situation, those 3 had the most to gain from Sinder's cancellation. Sinder would say that, because of the extreme harassment and character assassination of her and Gamersubs, a company where Sinder had partial ownership, she voluntarily stepped down from her position in the company. The arguments.
Is it wrong? I know I'm about to sound like a huge dick, but is it wrong to not believe that she stepped down? Because she could be telling the truth and she's like, yeah, I actually stepped down. And then I'm the dickwad over here being like, yeah, I think you're lying.
Extreme harassment and character assassination of her and Gamersubs, a company where Sinder had partial ownership, she voluntarily stepped down from her position in the company. The arguments. Sinder would start her arguments by discussing her status with Redacted, stating that the 2 of them co-wrote the document. She would explicitly say that the 2 of them are still together after spending time apart, mentioning that, while she cheated on Red online and painted Red in a negative light in her first apology doc, where she would claim that she was blindsided by her friends and essentially forced her to publicly call Red out, the 2 are able to make amends after their time apart, and are actively together again, claiming that the 2 have had communication problems for a while that have improved over time, and moved past the problems the 2 had in the past. She would mention how she lived with Red and his family from summer of 2022 to the end of February of 2025, but moved out after having consistent streaming issues involving her setup. She would also state that Red would continue to work with Sinder as her manager, though would no longer handle work-related communications on her behalf, and would plan to delete the original tweet where she announced that Red was fired. She would also list a few things that Red allegedly did from Sinder, which primarily—
Did she delete it, by the way?
consisted of communications with the 3 main perpetrators, Bao, Cotton, and other anonymous individuals. Sinder would move on to discuss the contents of her apology doc, primarily focusing on correcting statements made towards Red and her friends in that doc, reaffirming statements that the 2 took accountability for, and apologizing to several individuals who don't have their own section in the document. When it came to discussing Red and the statements she made against him, she divided the claims made in the apology doc into 4 separate sections: truthful actions that Red did alone that Sinder was already aware of, truthful actions that Red did that Sinder was also guilty of, truthful actions that Red did alone that Sinder wasn't aware of until writing the doc, and actions Red did that were false. She would also list 15 things that she took accountability for in her apology, which included cheating on Red, getting overly upset in multiple instances, and general negligence.
Wait, did we read this? What the fuck? I don't think we read this in the document. Agreeing with Red to talk to Nano about exclusivity, agreeing to specifically name Silvervale in terms, knowing a deal involving her was made, guilt-tripping Nano, feeling overly attached to Nano and her work, not knowing about Red, what I'd said about Bao to Nano when I should have, not speaking about Red's feelings towards her and letting it spiral to the point where it did. Becoming resentful towards Silvervale. How many times did she mention? 1, 2, just 2 times. It's crazy.
Cinder would essentially call out the people
it was
who
the first page.
took
I can't remember.
Accountability for her and Red's actions, and would state that while she does understand that Red's actions were ultimately her responsibility, she would claim that she was being blamed for things that she had nothing to do with. Outside of her apology, Sinder would list out 22 instances where she and Red are guilty of doing something wrong, and claim that these were the only wrongdoings that the 2 have done, stating that every other claim that was made against the 2 isn't true. Some of these instances include becoming neglectful of relationships, attempting to gain exclusivity of different things in multiple cases, being openly distrustful of various individuals, and several other things. She would state that the majority of these instances occurred between August of 2024 till April of 2025. Sinder would state how her relationships with her friends were damaged due to her priorities being focused on her work, and would apologize to them for neglecting them over the course of 2024. She would try to refute the claims that she was just using her friends for her own benefit by showcasing pictures of cosplay items that she created for some of her friends, and would state that her friendships were real and not stepping—
What? I'm sorry, what? I just share with them, I spent my own time making one-of-a-kind cosplay pieces of their VTubers for them for no other reason than they were my friends. More than the 3 finished pieces below were planned for more of my friends, including Bao, before I put it all in the crafting focus into. It meant a lot to me, and I could make things that... Well, I'm sorry, she's saying that because she made these cosplays that there was like no reason for people to be like, that you don't give a fuck about your friends. Is that what she's saying here? She's saying, I made them cosplay, so of course of course that means I care about them as a friend. And it's like, well, what? What kind of fucking excuse is this? I didn't read this part. No, I skimmed over it. I won't even lie. I skipped over this part. What? That is so stupid. Wait, where's that one clip of fucking Demi?
You know when somebody's racist, but they go like, guys, I have a black friend though. That's exactly how this like paragraph sounds like to me, personally. Personally. I'm sorry, dude. Personally, that's how it sounds like to me, okay? But I bought their merch though. Ads. Okay, I'll take a break. I need to drink water anyway. I don't.
That's crazy. No, that's fucking insane. Why? This is so weird. Decay, if I do this shit to you, yeah, publicly call me out, bro. Publicly tweet at me.
Cosplay items that she created for some of her friends, and would say that her friendships
This is
were real
insane.
and not stepping stones for her career. She would talk about how she and Red would dedicate an unhealthy amount of time towards her work, to the point where work was being done almost 24/7.
Okay.
Cinder would claim that the
Sounds like
money
every
wasn't their
streamer.
driving force for their work, but rather an indicator of success, but did acknowledge
It might have been money. It might have been money. No, money was 100% the indicator. Be so fucking for real. You don't gotta lie about that.
The money wasn't their driving force for their
You
work.
actually don't have to lie about this, bro, because there was so many times where you and your fucking boyfriend admitted that if you and Silvervale collabed, y'all would have saw financial success. Shut the fuck up, because it was about the money. You contradict yourself. You literally contradict yourself, dude.
But rather an indicator of success, but did acknowledge an instance where the claims of her being, quote, money hungry would be the strongest, as the instance involved an intermission on one of her model debut lore videos that required viewers to donate bits in order for the intermission to end. However, she would state that the motivation behind this wasn't to garner monetary gains, but to implement interactivity into the debut. She would briefly—
Wait, what? Wait, I don't remember this part. What? She did what? Wait. I'm sorry, what?
As the instance involved an intermission on one of her model debut lore videos that required viewers to donate bits in order for the intermission to end. However, she would state that the motivation behind this wasn't to garner monetary gains, but to implement interactivity into the debut. She would briefly go over a—
When was this? Does anybody know? What the fuck? Did she actually do this? You had to donate biddies for her to show her whole model, basically, right? No channel point redeems? I'm sure that your fucking Pyro Pups like have like so much fucking channel points. Chat, I know, I got an idea.
donate bits in order for the intermission to end. However, she would state that the motivation behind this wasn't to garner monetary gains, but to implement interactivity into the debut. She would briefly go—
I ain't even gonna lie. That's a little scummy. She did. I don't remember when. Wow, that's crazy. That's so insane, bro. What the
over
fuck?
a section in her apology.
It could be me being like, I mean, I'm gonna see comments where people are like, it's a skill issue, Annie, and it's, that's true. It is a skill issue, but at the same time, your community already worked hard enough to get your model, so the least you could do is just show the fucking full thing and not have your fucking community like have to like Gamba for the model. Are you dead ass? That's crazy. That's insane. Gamba live, by the way. Gamba live during a debut. Nah, dude, that's insane. That's crazy.
She would briefly go over a section in her apology regarding how she viewed her friends as competition, stating that Red was the driving
Is it
force.
bad that I have her merch? Nah, dude. Nah, it's not bad. I'll be honest. It's not bad. You're just an enjoyer. You know what I mean? You, at the end of the day, are a viewer and enjoyer of this creator. Buying their merch isn't a bad thing. I'll be so for real. Owning their merch is like not even like the worst thing that you could fucking do. You know what I mean? So you're chill. You're chill. I was so fucking tired of all this shit, bro, when all this stuff came out. You're chill. Owning like a piece of their merch does not make you like a guilty person.
Section in her apology
You're all
regarding
good.
how she viewed her friends as competition, stating that Red was the driving force behind this narrative. Red would pitch in with his own mini statement where he would state that, quote, everyone was competition. While Red would state that the competitive mindset wasn't an excuse to hurt other creators, he would state that he did view Silvervale, Bao, and Shy Lily in a negative light, and saw them as, quote, direct competition in the negative sense.
Wow.
Cinder would go on to briefly apologize to 3 individuals in this section that didn't have enough to talk about in their own respective sections. With Tricky, Cinder would apologize to her for ditching her during a trip to Japan, where the 2 in red were planning to go to the Godzilla store, but ended up going there without Tricky due to her being asleep. With Cottontail, she would apologize for avoiding her due to a situation that Cinder didn't have any involvement in. Red would throw in his own apology to Cottontail for asking Nano to not work with Cotton. With Nixu, aka Iomaya, Cinder would apologize to her for suddenly canceling an agreement between the two and failing to follow Nixu's terms of the agreement, where Cinder failed to verbally shout out her Patreon as part of the agreement. She would blame this on being unprofessional. Getting into one of the major sections of the document, Cinder would talk about Nanolith, the primary artist for Cinder, and her claims of manipulation, slandering others, and dragging her into drama. Cinder would claim that Nano's claims were the basis for everyone else to post their own statements, and said that after reading Red's DMs between him and Nano, Nano lied about her experiences. This section contains over 100 pages of DMs between Nano and Red, with the 2 occasionally providing context and additional information where Cinder and Red felt that it was needed. To try and get through the DMs, most of the screenshots in the beginning were general interactions between Nano and the 2 in their respective DMs, with the occasional updates and discussions for commissions, as well as the occasional praise for Nano's work. Red would pitch in from time to time talking about how Silvervale didn't like Cinder because she wasn't responding to Cinder's raids the way they wanted, as well as saying that Nano was always open to talking about drama. Screenshots of Red speculating about Silvervale's thoughts and behaviors towards Cinder were shown, with some even being emphasized. Red would claim that calling Silvervale the enemy of Cinder were Nano's words, and not theirs. More comments from Red would focus on emphasizing the positive relationship between Nano and the 2, as well as trying to clarify some of the more questionable messages from Red that Nano used as evidence in her doc, such as claiming that Red never asked Nano to cancel anyone's models, though Red would later admit to offering Nano money to not work with Silver on a model. Red would compare Nano's models to, quote, rare trading cards, by saying how the more models Nano made, the less valuable they'd become for the people who have them.
But wouldn't it be the same for you? You know what I mean? The more models, I feel like the more models you commission, the more you look like it's like, oh, we got a new model, you know what I mean? We got the same, or I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna make this argument right here, you could say the same for yourself too. You know what I mean? If you're gonna make this argument, you're the same as well.
Stating that each model becomes,
don't blame the artist, bro.
As Nano makes more. Cinder would
I don't wind up my fist and throw it at you.
DMs with Nano, stating that the infamous "it's just
man, I'm in an angry mood today. I'm so pissed off today. I don't even know why. I'm just so angry, chat. I'm so angry. I could just ban somebody right now. So mad.
As an attempt to reassure Nano that if she ever had to, it's just business DM, was used in a way as an attempt to reassure Nano that if she ever had to change the status of Cinder's commissions for whatever reason, it was just business and nothing personal. She would state that
don't let this ruin your trip before it starts. I'm just so fucking annoyed because I have to do everything, bro. I gotta do all this shit before I leave, man.
Context of Red's prior discussion, her DMs with Nano could be easily taken out of context. The 2 would talk with Nano about her wanting to cancel her commission with Bao, which would be a decent chunk of this section, where they would claim that Nano wanted to do this out of her own volition and was scared to do so, though Red would admit that he shouldn't have weighed in on his personal opinions regarding the situation. A series of interactions involving exclusivity discussions were also included, where the 2 claimed that Nano brought up exclusivity first through a hypothetical question. In a later interaction involving exclusivity, Red asked Nano to not take on any brand new model clients, and to not make any new models and outfits with Silverveil specifically. A deal was made, though it would be cancelled a month later due to her not being willing to cancel on Silverveil. Cinder would state that she had no part of this agreement, to which Red affirmed to be the case. When Nano was making a model for Shy Lily, Red would soon have issues with this, as he had concerns that Lily and Cinder had a negative relationship with each other. He would open up to Nano about this, claiming that he thought Lily really had issues with Cinder. This would be the last set of messages that Red had with Nano through DMs, and would also be around the time where Nano would stop talking with Cinder. Nano would soon add Red into a group chat with her and Nano's manager, Akira, where they told Red that Nano would be on an indefinite hiatus from working with them due to burnout. Red would accept this decision, but Red and Cinder would hint skepticism regarding the reasoning behind this decision. After some time passed, Nano would post her document to Twitter. Cinder claimed that the two attempted to reach out to Nano through DMs, but would soon delete them after. Nano would then cut off communication with them. When it came to Bao, Cinder apologized to her for neglecting her as a close friend, and for Red's general resentment towards Bao that ended up causing Cinder to feel similar resentment. Cinder would acknowledge that she knew of Bao's planned model with Nano, and felt bad that Nano cancelled her model because of her. Red would also apologize for his resentment towards Bao, and admitted to reassuring Nano that she could cancel Bao's model as a way to take an opportunity away from them. Cinder would include roughly she could cancel Bao's model for his resentment towards Bao, and admitted to reassure Cinder would acknowledge that she knew of Bao's planned model with Nano, and felt bad that Nano cancelled her model because of her. Red would also apologize for his resentment towards Bao, and admitted to reassuring Nano that she could cancel Bao's model as a way to take an opportunity away from them. Cinder would include roughly 60 pages worth of screenshots containing various interactions of the three, though a lot of these screenshots would be interactions between Nano and Red, as a way for Cinder and Red to confirm the things that happened in Nano's section. Instances where Red developed negative opinions about Bao were included as well. Red would bring his opinions up to Cinder, where the two would fight over it. A unique interaction would be between Red and Sacramore, the music video editor for Cinder's music group Boss Rush, where Sacramore stated that he was going exclusive with Bao, where Red admitted that he was skeptical.
Low-key, I'm not gonna lie, chat, I'll be honest. Low-key, if I had a partner that was shit-talking one of my friends to me and trying to convince me that my friend is just backstabbing and shit, you know what I mean? And I'm chilling with my friend and my friend has not done these things, I'm walking away. I'm walking away from the partner. I feel like, I don't know, man. I just feel like my opinion, this is just my fucking opinion, because apparently people hate my fucking opinion. But my opinion, I think friendships are worth more than relationships. I'm okay with being alone. I'm okay with being alone. I'm chill with that idea. I've grown with that idea. It's okay. I'm fine with that. But friendships, they're your ride or dies. They're actually your ride or die, man. Oh my goodness. They are your ride or die. They're always gonna be the ones that always look out for you. Are you fucking kidding me? Especially if you've been friends long. Dude, it is such a beautiful experience to grow with a friend. You know what I mean? So that when you grow with a friend and you're given the option, not saying that she was, but if you're given the option to be like in a position where it's like, it's either me or your stupid friend, I'm choosing my stupid friend. Man, they were there. They witnessed it all. They watched the character development. I'm not gonna let you come in here and try to tear that away. What? My autism over your relationship any day. I'm the tall, handsome, nonchalant. Oh boy. Yeah, you know what? Never mind. I'm picking the relationship. Oh. You make me want to find a girlfriend.
Zach's reason for going exclusive.
Oh my God.
He was going exclusive exclusive with Bao, where Red admitted that he was skeptical of Sak's reason for going exclusive, and began feeling resentment towards Bao, later claiming that Bao was very negative about her own music and was taking it out on her fans, but wouldn't provide screenshots to back Red's reason
what?
for going exclusive, and began feeling resentment towards Bao, later claiming that Bao was very negative about her own music and was taking it out on her fans.
What? She would talk publicly in a Discord server about how depressed she was about her own songs, about how nothing she did performing well, and guilt-tripping her fans about not liking them or listening to them due to the low view counts, ignoring their supporters, ignoring their supportive messages like it meant nothing to her because the numbers didn't reflect them. Her community was trying to encourage and support her, but I remember she replied to a fan saying something like, "Stop fucking talking," and telling them all that nothing she did mattered. What? Wait, she did this? Then what?
But wouldn't provide screenshots to back those claims.
There's no fucking way, bro. What? Yeah, she was shit talking her friends. Source, trust me. What? They make it, you know how they, okay, just again, I'm gonna talk bluntly here. They make Bao sound really fucking pathetic, bro. That's crazy. And there's no like evidence too. So it's like, what? She was shit talking her fans. I just can't prove it. Wow, what the fuck? Not only does she also care only about numbers, but she also hates her fans. Just trust me on this one. My source is that I made it the fuck up. Quite literally. This is a huge stretch. Oh man, bro. Oh my god.
Instead, linking a tweet that, quote, indirectly supports.
Oh, they linked the tweet? What? Sorry, I've been spotty with streams, just trying to take better care of my mental health and physical health so I could be best self for you all. Long boo-hoo, wah wah wah, big baby ramble. Learned a really hard lesson about work-life balance last year when I sang and talked until my jaw literally fell off and had to start physical therapy and get... Oh, what the fuck? Just to be able to chew food properly, chronic pain, constant migraines, life hit me fast. At some point, the fear of falling behind and being forgotten weighed all the joy and fulfillment I was supposed to feel as a creator. Was a really bad cycle of going way too hard, having to take a break, rinse and repeat, and never really feeling like I get anywhere. And if I did, it wasn't enough. This is their proof? This is their proof? Wasn't this recent too, by the way? Or not recent, but this was this year, right? This is their proof? I think I saw my family a grand total of 2 times last year and barely called home. Kept telling myself I called back, but I had more missed calls from my parents than called back. It's really scary coming and seeing my parents get visibly older, and it felt like I was constantly running out of time with every aspect of my life, when in reality, I just had to reevaluate how to be an actual human being again instead of a machine. So their support of them claiming that she only cares about views is a tweet of her talking about her mental health and how her chronic pain caused her to hate content creation because she's constantly having to take a break. She cares about the numbers and hates her fans, guys. Here's the proof. Here's the proof right here. And then the entire thing is just her explaining that she had surgery and how the surgery is been such a chronic pain to her. And she's constantly having to take a break, and because she's taking a break, she feels like she's falling off. This is the proof, chat. This is supposed to be mean. She hates her fans. What the fuck, bro? Yo, they're not real. Red's not real. There's no fucking way. And there's no way that Sinder read this shit and said, yeah, this looks good. This looks good. Be so fucking for real.
Supports the above claim. Red would acknowledge that he misjudged Bao's intentions and situation, and apologized to Sack for being misinformed and hostile towards him. The majority of the remaining screenshots and comments were taken from Nano's section, though there is a portion where Sinder stated that Red pressured her to not interact with Bao professionally anymore, to where she said that she refused, but would choose to keep her distance with Bao. Red would admit to doing this. Cinder would also admit to neglecting their friendship.
So she knows. So she knows. So she knows. So she knows. This is a huge... Wouldn't this, like, be very contradicting because she knows now? Because she said that they fought over over Bao. But she wasn't aware or some shit.
Pressured her to not interact with Bao professionally anymore, to where she said that she refused, but would choose to keep her distance with Bao. Red would admit to doing this. Cinder would also admit to neglecting their friendship, which caused Bao to feel isolated and confided in Numi about Cinder's actions. Numi's section primarily focused on Cinder apologizing for neglecting Numi's offer to be a part of her concert in February of 2025 by prioritizing her business venture of representing V-Card over Numi's concert. The roughly 6 or 17 pages of screenshots that followed contains several sets of interactions between Cinder and Red and Numi, as well as between Cinder and Shy Lily regarding their upcoming collab with V-Card. Generally speaking, the interactions with Numi consisted of Red and Cinder talking about the upcoming concert, where Cinder would be performing an original song composed by Numi, and the interactions with Shy Lily consisted of planning for the V-Card collab. Cinder would end up choosing to focus on the V-Card collab and her position as a part owner of Gamersubs, and would end up turning down Numi's request in a convoluted manner. This would lead to Numi confronting Cinder about it, to which Cinder apologized to her about the miscommunication. Numi would accept Cinder's apology. Cinder would be able to attend Numi's concert in a convoluted manner. This would lead to Numi confronting Cinder about it.
Hey Cinder, I wanted to apologize for my late reply. I was in the mountains for a few days after the concert and wanted to focus on spending time with my friends that were here before really checking my messages. Damn! I want to spend time focusing on my friends that were here! Damn! Damn! Sorry. Okay, my bad. Sorry. I just wanted to say I appreciate you trying to make the time to see the concert, and I understand that you've been working hard and want to focus on your business. So I wouldn't even hold that against you if you felt like obligated to be there for V-Cards. What disappointed me though was when I asked you about the concert months ago and you said yes, and you kept reassuring your commitment to the concert until last week. I understand every single anxiety and fear that comes with performing and going out for your comfort zone as well. So I completely felt your reasoning would never want to put you in a situation where you felt uncomfortable. What made me sad is that I had to hear it from Red and not from you all about your thoughts. While you were texting me about getting excited for the concert and off collabs, even when checking my messages when I got home yesterday, Red was the one who telling me about your feelings, about you feeling guilty, whereas you telling me you felt obligated to be around for the launch of Gamersubs. That's crazy, dude. That's fucking insane. The message between you both were completely different, and ultimately it felt as though I was being treated like a business partner rather than a best friend. I truly understand all the reasoning, but it had me feeling frustrated and confused about whether or not you truly care about how important this was to me, or how much Blank said and I spent planning the New York trip with you as a guest in our minds and having little real time to find a replacement. I didn't hear anything from you or any of your actual thoughts or fears. I only heard about some from Red. I want to apologize if I ever made you feel hesitant for sharing your feelings, or if I gave the impression that I'd be anything other than empathetic towards the reasons I was given. But I truly hope in the future that we can be more open to communicate our own feelings so that the others feel less nervous or upset about things. I don't think you've given me any reason to doubt the strength of our friendship until this year. Oh. Damn. Ooh. So I hope, want to trust, and believe that this isn't a bad thing where I'm imagining where I receive the messages from Ed, and I hope that things can be okay and you'll still be here to listen to you if you want to talk about it more. Damn. Oof, that sucks.
To which Sinder apologized to her.
Oh my god, that's like so fucking... That's such shit. Oh my god. Holy fuck. It's okay, Numi. I hope that you had a good time with everyone this past weekend. I'm really sorry for putting you in a situation, making you feel so frustrated about everything. I've been so stressed out with the things going on in my life and career lately, and I haven't had to stop a second to consider my own actions that were making you feel. I agree, Red shouldn't be the one telling you about how I feel. You're my friend. You deserve to hear it from how I'm feeling from. Since the planning of everything has been through you two, the communication about this whole thing was split from the start. It's always just been extremely hard for me to voice how I'm feeling with people in general, especially when I'm anxious about the situation, and I don't want you to think it's because of you in any way. You don't need to be sorry, because I know that you've always been empathetic and understanding with everything, and it's my fault. I should have been able to I haven't been able to open myself up. I wanted to pull out of the show because I was definitely anxious about singing live in a microphone. At WeebCon last year, I was able to perform because I wasn't actually singing. My full tracks were playing over the speakers. I wasn't confident in my singing skills at all. And being on stage with someone with a voice like you is a lot of pressure. Plus, the struggle to figure out how to get my cosplay there, then wear it to the venue and back without anyone recognize me was another stressor that just made me give up trying to think through and make it work. I know how important this show is to you and let you down when you needed me. I didn't realize my appearance was that big a part of the concert. Wait, they planned this for like months. Why didn't she mention this sooner, man? Oh my god, bro. Oh man. I feel like I feel like Numi and whoever else was there would have been backwards just for you to feel comfortable showing up. You know what I mean? I'm starting to see why Lily blocked her 4 days. So she faked a live music performance too. Or am I misunderstanding? No, 100% she did. Sounds like excuses to me, not gonna lie. I don't know, man. I mean, I get anxious all the time too. When it comes to like collabs and stuff. And a part of me has always thought about pulling out last second and being like, nah, I can't do this. You know what I mean? But I also have to bite the bullet and be like, I'm gonna look like a huge dick if I leave a collab. That is like the only reasons why my collabs just keep going. Or I have collabs. It's because as much as I want to pull out, I don't want to be a dick. You know what I mean? I would hate to like for the other person to put so much fucking effort into something and I'm like last second being like, oh, I can't do it today. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like the guilt would eat me alive afterwards. I would be so fucking guilty if I did that. Holy shit. Now I'm a part of GamerSub's owner. I feel a lot of pressure to live up to what Lily is for them and to the community. Oof. Yikes. That is a huge yikes. As much as I want to pull out, I don't want to be a dick. Might be the quote of the century. I get what she's saying, but if you were feeling this way, you think to respond more promptly and urgently, especially if it's your friend. Yeah, dude. If I got invited to a concert and I'm like the main fucking star, or I'm the star of, you know what I mean? I'm the guest. I'm the star guest. I am low-key spamming the fuck out of that person that invited me, being like, yo, what do I gotta do? Because I'm scared. This is insane. Now, we can use the excuse that she is anxious and that she's actually dog shit at texting her friends, which I am too. No, actually, I'm not anxious texting my friends. I'm just an anxious person. But, I mean, I am dog shit at texting people back. But I will say, this is a crazy excuse because Numi's planned this for quite a while, bro. What She's planned this for quite a while. How you do this? Because what? This is fucked. I feel like if you did the collab the next day, you still would have had just as enough supporters. This is the only pressure. You're the only one putting pressure on yourself. You know what I mean? Because aren't there other like gamer sub partners, like gamer sub owners? Yeah. You were the only one that put pressure on yourself about this shit. Yo, no, actually, because she compares it to Lily, so she was in competition in a sense. This is in a sense a competition. You know what I mean? Bad Slat Smitty. Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? This is a competition to you, bro. In a sense. Now, that's a huge stretch, chat, okay? That's a huge stretch. Saying that, that's a huge stretch. But if you think about it, now that I'm a part of G-Sub's owner, I feel a lot of pressure to live up to what Lily is for them and to the community. Now, what I mean by that is, I'm no therapist or anything, but people that say something like this, it tends to drive, that mentality tends to drive into a competition mentality, if that makes sense. That would be, and sometimes it's not even a good call. Like, it's not even a good mentality because the competition turns pretty fucking one-sided. It's a one-sided competition that you put in your own head. And I'm not saying that I know this from experience, but I've heard this from several people who would be like, I had just so much pressure on me to follow someone else's legacy. Bro, you are your own person. Who gives a fuck? Why are you comparing yourself to so-and-so? You guys might have the same shit, but you're not the same person. Be so fucking for real. What kind of excuse is that? That's just me, though. My announcements didn't really make the full splash I thought it would, and the V card is probably their biggest new drop this year. For full transparency, I made plans to collab with Lily the day after V-Card's launch day, which would have been on the 18th, but because the launch was pushed back, the collab was pushed to this weekend. I didn't know how to tell her, so I planned it early in the day as possible to be able to make the late train in New York City. We are coming to your show. The message that I sent the other day was a mistake. I shouldn't have thought to put a product launch over my friend's once-in-a-lifetime event, no matter the circumstances. And I'm sorry for that. I did feel a bit super guilty after messaging you. I feel like I've been digging deeper into this stress hole I am in and letting a lot of my friends down lately. I'm sorry I've been making you feel like a business partner than a friend, and I don't want to make you feel like that again. Your friendship has meant so much to me these past few years, and I know I wouldn't be where I am without you. I don't know what the planning process is or if it's possible at this point, but I could try my best to perform our cover song together to make it up to you. I can ask Lily to reschedule our plans again to be there sooner. I'm really sorry about this, Numi. Damn. Thanks, dude. This is really sad. This is so sad to see. I'm not even gonna lie. Oh, man. This is really sad. Scheduling things ahead of time is definitely the best way to get things done. And I understand that stuff can get in the way. But if you already have things scheduled beforehand, it won't be such a mess. The thing is, like, I think Numi Numi planned this stuff ahead. You know what I mean? From what it looks like, she planned this ahead. And, yeah, this is really sad. She seems more clumsy. She seems more clumsy than evil from my perspective. No. I'm not saying that she's evil, but she knows what she's doing, so I wouldn't say clumsy, man. She ain't clumsy. She knows what she's doing, pal. She 100% knows what she's doing. And it literally caught up real quick is when Numi said something being like, yeah, I don't understand why I gotta go through your partner. And not, why can't you just tell me anything? You know what I mean? Nah, it ain't clumsiness because you have her saying one thing and then you have Cinder allowing her manager, her partner, allowing her boyfriend to talk for her as well. So you have two people that support the same person, but saying two different things. So, you know what I mean? She's at fault for allowing her stupid ass partner to speak for her. And he's at fault as well for speaking for her. And Cinder's at fault again for making promises and then not going through with them.
About the miscommunication. Numi would accept Cinder's apology. Cinder would be able to attend Numi's concert as a viewer, and told Numi that she would be at her next concerts.
Did you ever plan a date for your Chicago concert? We've been on hold for the venues in Austin and Chicago, so we're not solid on the date, but it looks like we're going to be either this last weekend of July or the 1st of August. Yeah, bro, she is not letting you. She is not letting you on the stage
Cinder
anymore,
would be able
man.
to attend Numi's concert as a viewer, and told Numi that she would be at her next concerts, though it ended up not happening due to the controversy. Shy Lily's section focused on talking about her response to Cinder's apology. Cinder would state that Lily was the first person Nana reached out to about this controversy, and claimed that Lily orchestrated the collaborative effort of canceling her, with her response being the final nail in Cinder's coffin. The following roughly 12 to 13 pages of screenshots discussed Cinder's interactions with Shy Lily, specifically their V-Card collab, as well as previously mentioned information from the previous sections again. Regarding the V-Card collab, Cinder admitted that she leaked information about V-Card ahead of the release date, with some of that information being completely incorrect. Shy Lily would be openly annoyed about this happening, and stated in her stream that, while she won't say who leaked the information, official sources were the only ones that had the correct information about V-Card, with Cinder claiming that Shy Lily stated that Cinder wasn't an official source of information, despite her having the information and being a partial owner of Gamersubs. Cinder would apologize to Lily.
Okay, so I didn't know this, chat. Does Lily own V-Cards? Is that like her thing that she like owns and then like incorporated it to Gamersubs? Because I remember seeing her being like the only one hyping this shit up before like V-Cards like were official. Maybe she gave the idea for it. Let me see. Because I remember like she like, I don't know, bro. Not having proper foresight and upfrontness with Numi is the form of clumsiness, stupidity, I still think, but that's just me. No, that's not clumsiness. It's not stupidity and clumsiness because she knew what she was doing at the end of the day. Like, I get what you're trying to say, but at the same time, she knew. She put a collab before her friend. That's not clumsiness and stupidness. That's actually just being a business mindset, and that makes you a piece of shit. If I promise a collab with my friends, and be like, yo guys, let's go play Lego Party, which we're gonna do, by the way, when we come back from TwitchCon. But if I promise a collab with my friends, and then the same day that the collab is happening, I cancel all my friends, and then I say, yo, sorry guys, I can't make it. But then they see me collabing with some like big ass streamer, you know what I mean? They would be like, are you fucking kidding, Annie? They would have been more understanding if I was the one to say something to them, you know what I mean? If I texted the group chat and be like, hey guys, I got this once in a lifetime opportunity to collab with a big creator, and it's today though. Would it be okay if we push this back till tomorrow or something? You know what I mean? Then they would have been disappointed, but then like, you know what? You got that, Annie. It's all good. Because that's just how my friends are. But if I didn't say some shit, if I didn't say anything, and I just said, hey guys, can't make it, we gotta push this collab, they would have been pissed, bro. They would have been pissed. They would have been mad, bro. And we could say that that's clumsiness, but it's not, because I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Is that clumsiness? Is that stupidity? No, bitch, that's being business orientated. And that also means being a piece of shit. Because you know what you're doing. It doesn't make you clumsy or stupid. It makes you a piece of shit. I had to use it in a different scenario, bro. I had to give like a different scenario because it wasn't making any sense. Personally, I can't imagine the greed to put business before friends when you're already set in life. That's what I'm saying, dude. I feel like if you have your ride or die friend, right? And you guys are constantly like and you're constantly showing up for each other, like supporting each other, you know what I mean? And you're always showing up back and forth for one another. I feel like that friendship will eventually turn into business. You know what I mean? In a sense of authentic. You know, it's just more authentic. It comes with gold that just slowly comes in, though. You know what I mean? Like, people support that shit more than whatever the fuck this is. I don't know. Anyone said, I don't know if anyone said anything. I was dealing with a dog, but Card is Shy Lily's Gamer Sub's child. Okay. Fire. Okay, so she was the one to support. Okay, so it's hers, basically. V cards, in a sense, are Lily's. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, so now we got this. I'm the dive friend. I'm dead.
They who leaked the information. Official sources were the only ones that had the correct information about Vcard, with Sinder claiming that Shy Lily stated that Sinder wasn't an official source of information, despite her having the information and being a partial owner of Gamersubs.
Okay, so in Cinder's mind, she thinks that she owns Vcards as well, because she's a co-ownership of Gamersubs. But Lily owns Vcards. Wait, okay, hold on. I just confused myself. How the fuck did I do that? Okay, Lily owns Gamersubs. She owns Gamersubs and Vcards, but Cinder owns Gamersubs. But in Cinder's mind, she thought she also owns Vcards because Vcards is attached to Gamersubs. But when in reality, it's just Lily. Lily owns Vcards and Gamersubs, and Cinder owns Gamersubs. Okay, I think we got it. So in her mind, she thought she owns V-Cards and was allowed to say the things that she needed to say. But again, at the same time, I don't think that she was trying to sabotage some shit. You know what I mean? I won't lie though. This definitely does sound a little petty from Lily's. You know what I mean? I think she owns partialness of all of Gamersubs as opposed to just the company itself. Okay, now you lost me. Now you just lost me because in my mind it sounded so much more clear, bro. And now you saying that lost me. Okay. She thinks that she owns partialness of all of Gamersubs as opposed to just the company itself. Oh, okay. I get it now. Lily is European, so she probably feels different to things. I feel like people that are not in the US and Canada, we're gonna go ahead and include Canada. I feel like people that are not Canadian and not from the US, I feel like the European countries and stuff are a bit more blunt with how they feel. And I think it's a W. I'm not gonna lie, I fuck with that. She thinks that she owns everything, including V-Cards, when she doesn't. Okay. That's what I think. That's definitely what I think. And I think that because she thinks like that, she thought that she could say something about V-Cards when in reality it wasn't like that. But also, I feel like also it is definitely the manager's fault for not communicating these things too.
Correct information about V-Cards.
I will give Cinder the benefit of the doubt here that this right here was just a miscommunication and Lily was a bit more petty about it. You know what I mean? I will openly admit that.
With Cinder claiming that Shy Lily stated that Cinder wasn't an official source of information, despite her having the information and being a partial owner of Gamersubs. Cinder would apologize to Lily about the leaked information, to which Lily accepted at the time. The two wouldn't directly talk to each other for some time, until Cinder offered to play Split Fiction with Lily, to which she rejected. The last DMs between the two would involve troubleshooting OBS. Cinder would state that Shy Lily would never greet or thank her for 2 of the raids she did. From there, the majority of information was taken from Nano section, though it would include an interaction between her and Bosca about Shy Lily's—
I feel like you don't need— If my friends ever raided me and I didn't thank them for the raid, if I didn't say their names and I wake up tomorrow to a twit longer, I'm gonna be so pissed.
The last DMs between the two would involve troubleshooting OBS.
Just because I didn't say their names.
Shy Lily would never greet or thank her for 2 of the raids she did. From there, the majority of information was taken from Nano section, though it would include an interaction between her and Bosca about Shy Lily's lack of communication, to which Bosca stated that Shy Lily only used Discord for business purposes. Cinder would send a message 5 days prior to the documents being published, to which she would get ghosted. The second largest section in Cinder's document talked about the individuals who were involved in canceling Sinder, which Sinder claimed to be 12 different people, though she suspected that more people had some form of involvement. Sinder would emphasize Shy Lily's involvement in this section, as she claimed that Shy Lily manipulated Nano into believing that Sinder and Red were manipulating her, leading to Nano's doc being made and published. It's in this section where the majority of comments made in the entire document were labeled as speculative. Cinder would provide a 17-day timeline that discussed the events that happened between April 11th and April 28th, 2025, where Cinder would source previous sections and VODs to provide a general overview of the events, while also providing speculative comments regarding the details, such as potential events that may have transpired, whether Nano's manager was actually her manager, and whether Nano's screenshots of DMs were taken in different time zones.
Oh my god.
Cinder feels more confident in the last matter. Cinder continues this section by beginning her dissection of the documents with Nano's doc, already ripping into Nano's first sentence with 4 separate paragraphs. Generally speaking, Cinder is refuting Nano's claims of manipulation by allegedly pointing out instances where Nano either failed to provide the full context or made up information entirely.
Yeah, I will agree with this too. I'm not gonna lie though. I will say that Nano is a little fucked up for doing that. And it makes me wonder too, what did she show the girls to think like, oh, what the fuck, you know what I mean? I will say that, okay? That's really crazy too. That's insane.
Instances where Nano either failed to provide the full context or made up information entirely. Most of the arguments in this portion of the section have previously been made in Nano's section of the doc, primarily focusing on Nano's desire to cancel other commissions and her desire to go exclusive with Cinder. Cinder would list out speculative theories regarding a few questions, but mostly speculated that Nano was manipulating screenshots after Nano sent them to others. Nano leaked messages to Shy Lily due to believing that Red was lying to her instead of Shy Lily.
Nano's miscommunication throughout this drama really makes me distrust her. Yeah, low-key, I won't lie to you. I was like, yikes. Oh, this is bad. If I worked with an artist and this is the shit that they're saying about me, you know what I mean? I would not want to work with this artist ever again. That's how I feel. And that's how I feel now. Not that I was ever going to, you know what I mean? But it's like, if I ever got the opportunity, I'm rejecting it because that's fucking crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I would not want to know what the fuck you're saying about me. And then handing my artwork over to me like nothing happened. I'm chill. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I think this is really fucked up and I don't think I could. No, dude. I don't know. I can't. I would be so distraught if I commissioned this artist and they were talking shit about me the whole time while working for me. I'd be like, what? Then why take the commission in the first place, bro? It's your job.
Lily, due to believing that Red was lying to her instead of Shy Lily, and Nano had Shy Lily write the document instead of writing it herself. Cinder would move on to talk about Bao's document, where the general claim of this section is that Bao, along with others, was misinformed about the events that transpired, due to Nano and Shy Lily lying to them about the information. Generally speaking, Cinder stated that the majority of Bao's doc was full of false claims, in which Cinder claimed that Bao would only make these claims if she was told about the information by someone else. Cinder would use screenshots from Nano's section as her evidence, but would also reference Bao's stream on April 27th to assert claims and provide context. Her speculations would include Shy Lily contacting Bao to manipulate her, Bao's second model never getting cancelled, and Nano not wanting to work on Bao's model in the first place. Cinder's discussion about Shy Lily's response would be the most argumentative out of anyone else mentioned.
Oh my god.
Cinder believed that Lily's response was what cancelled Cinder in the first place. Generally speaking, Cinder mostly focused on refuting claims of choosing business over friends for the sake of money and slandering others, though would make some choice words towards the end. Unlike the previous breakdowns, Cinder would only use around 7 unique screenshots as evidence for her claims against Lily's response tweet, choosing to emphasize her personal experience and thoughts. When it came to Shy Lily's response stream, Cinder would go into extensive detail, with this portion taking up the majority of the section alone.
Oh my god.
The number of times she just says petty, which is 7, Cinder's main point was that Lily dodged collab opportunities and DMs out of her own volition, rather than avoiding problematic situations, deflected problematic things that she allegedly did, as well as Cinder claiming that Lily admitted to, quote, everything she claimed was slander and manipulation that turned Nano against me in the first place. When it came to the speculations, Cinder claimed that Shy Lily did this out of envy and gained a lot out of lying. Lily encouraged Nano to lie in her doc, and Lily would manipulate Nano
What? This is such a crazy... What? Oh my god, this is a crazy speculation. What? This is such a crazy speculation. Lies, 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 lies. That's all she do. That's all she do. That's all she do is lie. Oh my fucking god. That is crazy. That's such a huge stretch.
Gained a lot out of lying. Lily encouraged
Especially or not, if you're gonna work with people that don't speak your language, it's your job to have good communication. Oh, she's Brazilian. Oh, I thought you said especially. I'm an idiot. I thought you abbreviated especially. Wait, I'm confused. Wait, what does her being Brazilian have to do with anything? Toxic Latina. Okay. Tired of this. I'm tired of this stereotype. You're banned too. Hang on by his toes. Come on. Come on. Come on. We got a whole row of people being hung by their toes, bro. And you're going with it. If I had $100 for how many times I saw the word speculation. Ding dong. Hi, ding dong. Hello. It's been too long. How have you been, ding dong? Hello, ding dong. It's been too long. How have you been?
to lie in her doc, and Lily would manipulate Nano and others to push her narrative. She would make 3 different conclusions in this section. With the general conclusion, Sinder would state that while Red did create an assumed story based on his experiences that painted those involved in a negative light, the others could have done the exact same thing towards Sinder and Red. Sinder would state that she forgives her friends for partaking in her cancellation, as she believes that they were led on and manipulated. With Nano, Sinder would state that she felt betrayed by Nano's doc, and believed that Nano's intentions were originally malicious. Cinder believed that Shy Lily grossly manipulated Nano into speaking out, and planned to continue using Nano's work until they can be replaced. With Shy Lily, Cinder would direct the majority of her negativity towards her. She would be confident in Shy Lily being the overall mastermind behind Cinder's cancellation, and stated that nobody would have a reason not to believe Shy Lily, which she allegedly used to her advantage in deplatforming Cinder. Moving past that segment, Cinder would dive into the largest section of the document, Silvervale. Cinder would be upfront and say,
"Oh fuck, bro." Oh no. Oh no.
that the two were never friends, and asserted that Silver hated her and Red for years. She would claim that Silvervale confidently lied about Cinder when she had the chance. Just like with the other sections, Silvervale's section mostly contained over 100 pages of screenshots, but did try to have a fair amount of original commentary and analysis. The main focus of this section was disproving the allegations of copying Silvervale's design and overall personality by showcasing the history of Cinder creating.
Oh, we saw the tweet, or not the tweet, we definitely did see in the document where she was like, me and Silvervale coincidentally happen to have the same personality. I was like, even in a document, you still find ways to compare yourself to her. Are you fucking kidding me? Even in the document, you're still saying this shit. You're not helping your case. You are actually not helping your case.
Design and overall personality by showcasing the history of Cinder creating her original concept based on her previous ASMR.
Let me see. Friendly, sweet. Okay, this is the personality that she said that she showed, and then there was like a personality on the VShojo website where she said like they have like the same personalities, and I was like, just say you got inspired, but you took inspiration a little too far, okay? Just say you got inspired by her, but what you did was take it too far. That is all that you did, was got inspired by someone that you probably looked up to, but you don't want to openly admit that. You got inspired by someone that you admire, but you took inspiration a little too far and you wanted to be her, bro. And because you were constantly in this battle of comparing yourself to her, that you let every 2 to 3 comments that compared you guys. At this point, is it inspiration? And at what point is it envy? I think at some point it became envy. I just don't know where. I can't pinpoint where it became envy. Holy.
and taking inspiration for other VTubers and their outfits. Sinder would talk about how the two met through a mutual friend, where the two somewhat hit it off, though wouldn't have future collabs due to Silverveil preferring to play alone. When it came to the meet and greet photo at TwitchCon in 2023, Sinder would state that the photo wasn't planned, and was taken by Red without her or Silverveil's knowledge.
But you posted it. You posted Esta pendeja! Liar! 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 But you posted it! Esta tonta! What are you talking about? I won't be surprised if Red posted on her account. You could be right too. He posted on her account. He's like, look, babe, look what I posted. Oh my god. That sure is gonna do clicks, honey. Must be nice being in a relationship. Oh no. I think I'm jealous. I would kill myself if my man had full control over my fucking shit. My social media. I'm like, no! He's like, yo, babe, what's this folder right here? It's called, Yaoi? Yaoi? No, don't do it! What is this Rengoku folder? So you're saying you have a yaoi folder. I have a yaoi folder. It's empty. I will say that. It's empty. It's on my my TikTok. Which is so funny. It's so funny too because I repost empty. Yeah, it's empty because I can manage it on my PC, but I can't manage it on my phone. Sure, empty. Yeah. Chat, there's only like two like yaoi tropes that I'm like into, or not like yaoi tropes, but like two ships that I'm into. All right, I'll okay. Tengen, this is Demon Slayer. This is Demon Slayer. Tengen and Rengoku, and the other one is Gojo and Geto. Oh my god, my fucking throat. So it's empty because you can't access it from the computer. I don't have it. I literally can't access it. I don't know how to put stuff in my folders on TikTok because I'll see like edits of like Tengen Rengoku, but because I don't know how to fucking put it in the folder on my phone, I'll just repost it. Because I can't find how to put it on my phone, I just repost it for anyone that's following to see, bro. I'm like, you know what? I'll find it later. Boop, repost. So, anyone that follows me on TikTok is gonna like be scrolling and just see yaoi edits, and they're just like, what the fuck? Oh man. Yep, they're like, yep. Wait, how did this get here? Oh, she reposted it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh my god. I think if I had to think of the two ships that I have, I think I repost more of Gojo and Geto than Tengen and Rengoku. I might have worded a bit bad. Basically, judging from her reflection with Numi and how she felt, I call her actions evil more than herself. I agree with you overall point, though. Still doesn't excuse it either way. I think I just had to say it differently. You know what I mean? Because, like, I get what you're saying, too. And it's a W that you, like, see it that way. I won't lie. I think it's such a W that you see it that way in a sense of it's her being clumsy. And I wish I had that. I wish I could see it that way too. But with knowledge like that, it's like if a promise was broken to you. I feel like you gotta put the shoes on yourself now and see it from that situation. You know what I mean? Because that's what I thought as well. And then I went back and read the document and I was like, nah, she knew what she was doing. You know what I mean? If I was in this situation, but I'm gonna use myself as the bad guy for this scenario, right? And I'm gonna think about my friends that I always hang out with. If I were to do something like this, they would be fucking heartbroken. And then the guilt would eat at me. You know what I mean? I feel like if you put yourself in the perception of this person doing wrong right here, if you put yourselves in her shoes and then try to picture it in your mind, bird eye view, however you want, you freak, and it just, a lot of it just does not look good. You know what I mean? Is it a coincidence that her type of fictional men are more than likely dead? What did I do? Why am I catching strays today? You're next. Hang him by his toes, okay? Leave me alone. I was chatting with someone, I was chatting with someone else about this, and Red seems like the main contributor into feeding Cinder's bad behavior. Listen, man. Two bads, they actually don't make a positive. School lie. If Cinder was in her 20s doing this, I could see the argument, but she's in her 30s. That's a grown woman. Personally, I can't equate it to clumsiness. Would age be like a huge factor into this, dude? I don't know, man. Wait, she's 30? Is she actually 30? Damn.
Cinder would state that the photo wasn't planned, and was taken by Red without her or Silverveil's knowledge. She would also include a series of attempted interactions with Silverveil through DMs, however, most would be met with silence.
Damn,
Cinder would
that's
also
crazy.
talk about how some of Silver's Twitch moderators reached out to Red, and applied to be part of Cinder's moderation team. Although the main moderator in question asked Red to keep their DMs private, Red would put up the DMs up into the dock. It's through these DMs that Cinder would find out about Silver blacklisting Cinder's emotes in her chat, and eventually, Cinder's name as well. When Cinder talked about Silver's statement, Cinder stated that Silver only knew what
It looks like some Twitch chatters over in Silver's chat have picked up on Silver being a block term, and one of the mods straight up said, don't answer it. Hey there, is there a special reason why the name Cinder is blocked in the stream chat? That's the newest development. The reason was so people don't start bullshit. I feel like that's very fair. You know what I mean? You're constantly getting compared by somebody. I feel like it's very fair. You know what I mean? Or if you have someone... I don't know, dude. I feel like if you're constantly getting compared by someone, or if your chat's talking about like someone else constant, I feel like that's fair. Is it not? A lot of streamers do that. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is quite normal. Oh my god, dude. Sorry. Anyways. Fair enough. I wouldn't call you wrong. I get you. As I viewed it for years, evil can't do form of stupid. Now, if it's frequent, then that's another story. Yeah. It also seems like Cinder isn't confident in being on her own content since she's been with Red using his stuff. Howling reminds me of Zoil. Fuck, stop! No, please! I saw a fucking... I don't think it was a clip. I saw a screenshot of him on Twitter. And it was like him on his knees, and like I think he was barking at a woman in someone's house, and I was like just thinking back to the time where he's like, your laugh makes me scared or some shit like that. I was like, what the fuck is happening? I was like, what is Soil doing? I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Is it this one? It's on Jason's stream. Bro, what is he doing? Why is Jason just watching?
Okay, well, I'm just trying to like get the
freak away.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
What's your favorite animal? I can do impressions.
Okay.
Yeah.
A cat.
Hey, no! 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 What the fuck?
Oh,
No,
no,
it
no,
is
yours is actually better than mine.
Ah! No, 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 no! What about? Yo, hello? Stop! What is happening? Let him cook.
She matches freak. She matches freak though. That's a W. But keep that freakiness away from me. Keep that away from me. Keep that shit away.
Cinder's name as well. Find out about Silver blacklisting.
Ain't no way you
Cinder's
calling
emos.
someone else a freak. I feel like I have the pass. Do I not? I left for 2 seconds to follow Annie's TikTok. The fuck happened?
In her chat, and eventually Cinder's name as well. When Sinder talked about Silver's statement, Sinder stated that Silver only knew what information Nano shared, and claimed that she only agreed with the narrative that the others decided upon by emphasizing Silver's apparent negative feelings towards Sinder. When Silver made additional statements on streams like the others, Sinder would use roughly 30 pages of this section to try and refute the statements made. Most
my
of the
God.
rebuttals focused on Sinder claiming that Silver didn't tell her to go away when she felt annoyed towards her, and blamed Sinder for all of her failures. In her
What?
Sinder would state that Silver
What? Wait.
annoyed towards her, and blamed Cinder for all of her failures.
Oh, it's Silver. Okay, Silver blamed Cinder. Okay. Nothing went on for years. I didn't ruin Silver's project, and she blamed me for everything that went wrong for her. I didn't want to destroy Silver or her career. I didn't try to. I asked Nano not to make models for her anymore because of the comparison between us and harassment. I got over it. And because of the way Silver acted towards me for years for no reason. So you did ruin. So you did ruin. All because you got compared. All because she should have done the same shit and just blocked out the names. She didn't, like, she should have actually just done the same shit and blocked out the names in her chat of Silver's name. Ain't no way this is like... Silver wasn't kicked down constantly by me or Red. Silver claimed that she isn't a problematic person. Well, she isn't, bro. Are you dead ass? You have like a crazy obsession over her.
In her conclusion, Cinder would state that Silver is a, quote, master emotional manipulator, and was envious of Cinder's success to the point of, quote, seething over her existence.
She was seething over my existence alongside her and blamed me for every inconvenience she suffered in her career ever since I wrote Cindervale in a long deleted tweet. What the fuck? It's like saying me and another guy wore the same shirt out and he ends up getting girls while I don't, so I start hating on him.
Cinder would also speculate that Silver never liked her and copied her, not the other way around.
What?
Silver for
Oh my god. What the
speculate
fuck?
that Silver never liked her and copied her. Now,
she's mad. She made me the biggest VTubers. I only wanted to be the only VTuber. What are the chances that the tweet isn't deleted? Silver didn't like me is very clear about her own behavior over the past few years, her own mods accounts, and her lies. Another thing I noticed is the usual amount of similarities in our beach background environments, which we were both done by the same artist. You fucking idiots. Esta pendeja. You got the same artist. So it might look a little similar. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god.
other way around, and tried to call out Silver for collabing with Shy Lily, despite claiming to prefer streaming solo. Deputy Aru said,
It's been a year. She can change. She can change her opinion. It's been... Oh, 마론.
Despite claiming to prefer streaming solo. Deputy Aru's section is on the smaller end of this document, as it primarily focused on two particular tweets from Aru that claimed that Sinder treated her as a tool to get to Silvervale rather than a friend. Sinder would claim that this wasn't the case, but rather it was Aru who offered an opportunity to meet Silvervale through a collab opportunity. Sinder would state that Aru admitted to lying in her tweets and included about 14 pages of DMs between the two, where it mostly consisted of the two talking about the potential collab, getting art together, and hanging out off stream. No speculative theories or breakdowns are presented in this section. When it came to Spite, Sinder apologized for the harassment Spite faced for being similar to her, and admitted to knowing about Spite being excluded from working with Nano because—
Oh, bro, I saw a tweet recently. Do you guys want to see it real quick? It has this person, Aru. Give me a second, guys. I was like, oh, I was like, oh, can he say that? Is he allowed to say that? I was like, oh, can he say that? Is he actually allowed to say that?
Downs are presented in this section. When it came to Spite, Sinder apologized for the harassment Spite faced for being similar to her, and admitted to knowing about Spite being excluded from working with Nano because of Sinder's personal feelings. She would then claim that Spite was contacted by Shy Lily, who encouraged her to make a public statement that is, quote, made up of allegations.
No,
without
I'm sure it was all like good fun, to be honest. I'm sure it was chill. I was just like, I was just so baffled. I was like, oh.
By Shy Lily, who encouraged her to make a public statement that is, quote, made up of allegations without evidence and is purely based on conjecture. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but whatever. Similar to Silvervale's section, Sinder would begin with providing her evidence that she didn't copy Spite, and went into additional detail regarding the summer, goddess, and sleepwear outfits, as those were some of the main points Spite made in her document. While she states that most of their teasers and tweets were coincidental, Sinder does admit to making a tweet in spite of Spite.
Okay, so here's the funniest part is that she says that she doesn't copy Spite, and it's so weird that Spite thinks that she copied her, right? But accuses Silver of copying her, and thinks it's so fucking weird that Silver's copying her. You know what I mean? Like it's like you contradict what you're trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, you are in such a fucking wedge that it doesn't make any sense. Document full of contradictions. That's what I'm saying. So I was just like, I remember like reading the Silver one and then reading the Spy one and then going back to the Silver one being like, I'm confused. You were mad at Spite for saying these things, and now you're saying the exact same shit that she's saying, but you're upset that someone's doing it, quote unquote, to you. You know what I mean? So it's like,
That most of their teasers and tweets were coincidental, Sinder does admit to making a tweet in spite of Spite after she believed that Spite was copying her. In her speculation portion, she would claim that Spite possibly copied Sinder, not the other way around, due to various circumstances. She would also talk about ASMR VTuber Noun Tales and how individuals harassed her over similar designs.
now, Loki, I saw the DMs of this. I saw the DMs of this stuff. We saw it in the Discord, those that were in the radio. Low key, I don't know this person as much, but I fucks with them because the way that this person was talking to Sinder, I was like, oh, oh, oh. I was like, oh my god, she was standing on business.
That mentioned how she liked one of the individual's tweets and would state that the two resolved their issues. She would conclude with a statement about VTuber designs and the general idea of copying others, stating that she grew to be less concerned with others taking inspiration from her design, specifically the fire inside her ears. After her breakdowns and decoding of the previously mentioned individuals, Sinder would issue a formal apology to her community, stating that she regretted disappearing with a poorly made statement and wished her community the best in the future.
This is why lawyers make you make your points in short, I don't know what this is, statements, so that you start, so that you don't start contradicting yourself. And they pull you up to the booth and they start asking you the questions. And then that's how they catch you in lies. That's how I got you in lies!
To throw in a brief apology of his own. Sinder would also call out the individuals who harassed others for the sake of defending her, stating that they are disgusting people who don't belong in her community, and apologize to those who were impacted by the mentioned individuals. To conclude the doc, Sinder stated that she plans to come back as Sinder in the near future, and is excited to get back into content creation. The responses. Generally speaking, the responses have been very mixed, with a spectrum of positive and negative tweets being made commenting on Sinder's doc. The general pattern of responses are the following. Sinder is still to blame for everything. Sinder is more at fault, but others have some fault. Everyone involved has equal amounts of fault. Others are more at fault, but Sinder has some fault. And Sinder is 100% forgiven. These are the direct replies on Sinder's tweet. The responses fall towards the negative side of the spectrum, with many stating that Sinder shouldn't have written 1,000 pages as a defense, Sinder contradicting herself on multiple occasions, and that while Nano may have lied and over-exaggerated details in her document, there is still a decent chunk of padding, contradictory statements, and misinformation that goes beyond her counter-arguments against Nano. Outside of Sinder's tweet, the responses are more mixed, but generally fall in the moderate sides and the middle of the spectrum, though there are still plenty of people who fall on the ends of both sides. Focusing on the blue section, some of the main arguments made include—
I saw so many people quick to forgive her. I was like, did you read the document? Chat, I read the document. And I think that's why I had a migraine for like such a while, because I just could not understand it. And even when I got done reading it, I went back to read it again so that I could try to see it in a different perspective. Now, I bet you're wondering, Annie, why the fuck would you do that? Because I'm unemployed. And second of all, I wanted to have a different view on it. I wanted to have a different view on it and try to see, didn't you have one of the days before? Yeah, I did. And I have a migraine again today. I mean, that's why I'm so bitchy. You forgot the I ain't reading all that category, which was most of us, unemployed being the first reason. One of my friends said that we should catch up, and then he said also, I saw the Sinder document. This is somebody that doesn't actually is offline. He's offline. He doesn't do like internet and like stuff like this. So I didn't think you, but he said that he saw the Sinder document because he was scrolling on TikTok. I was like, oh, he goes, when we catch up, you should tell me all about it. I go, ah! It's so exciting to tell my friends VTuber stuff that don't know what the fuck a VTuber is. I read 1,000 pages, so you didn't have to, and this is what I've learned. Yeah, basically. But I reread it again. I sat down and I was like reading all of it yesterday when I was like, because I was traveling a lot yesterday. I was like going from like stores to stores, so I was like constantly reading it. I was pulling out my phone to read it, and I tried to get like a different perspective. I was like, maybe if I read it thoroughly, if I just like actually lock in and read it thoroughly another time, maybe I can have like a different perspective. Maybe my opinion can change. No, if anything, my opinion got worse. If anything, I was this more disappointed than before. And what's it called? I'm more of towards red and orange. It's like a mixture of both. I'm more towards both, man. And I just think that Nano sucks. I think that Nano sucks, and I think that not saying that they should be stripped from their job, but I'm gonna say is be a little cautious. Be a little cautious, because that's really fucked up of what Nano did. I'm not gonna lie, that's super fucked up. And but I think a lot of it too, I think a lot of it too, she's still partly to blame for everything. And they also need to throw in the factor her boyfriend too. And in my opinion, this is just me as well. In my European, in my opinion, I think that her and Red should not be together. I don't think they should. I feel like I don't know. But there's so much that I could say about them two specifically, and I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start because I'm still trying it to look at the perspective of two negative people doesn't make a positive. That was like running through my mind the entire time. And I was like, yo, Red should not be with her and she should not be with him. And clearly she depends on him for the business aspect. Because that's what it seems like. Because that man is all business. If you like read through all his stuff, he's just all business. And if you read her stuff, she's just a horrible friend. You know what I mean? So I'm more of an orange. I've kind of lost a little trust on Shy Lily, but it feels wrong. I don't think I've lost my trust on Shy Lily. I think Shy Lily shouldn't have been as petty as she was. But at the same time, I don't know. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know, to be honest. I don't own a fucking company, so I wouldn't know. I don't know at the same time. I think that she was very petty in some aspects. But also at the same time, she was petty over her company that she has. And she was petty for her friends. So that's a W, friend, at the end of the day. So in my eyes, I wouldn't want to catch a stray from Lily. I would hate to wake up and be RKO'd on Twitter by her, bro. So Lily's such a complex situation. She's such a, like, this part right here is such a complex situation too, chat, because I'm a huge fan of her, and I'm trying my hardest not to be biased, and in the sense of the way that she was like presenting herself, the way that like the documents, you know, kind of quote unquote kinda, I'd say like 2%, maybe be like, oh well, she seems very petty, like, and all this stuff, but also at the same time, and she's very honest too, because she straight up told her like, oh, you got balls to tell me all this shit, you know what I mean? She's super fucking honest, so it's like I wouldn't want to get on her bed. And I feel like it's fair in a sense of for her to be upset about the V card stuff, because that's her thing, you know what I mean? And I assume that it was her thing because she was the only one that I saw as a partner owner of GamerSups, being the only one to hype up V cards. So in my mind, I was like, oh, she has to like own V cards. It makes sense. And this was her idea to incorporate it to GamerSups. That's a W. So she owns GamerSups and V cards, or I'm assuming that's what we're assuming, okay? And as for Sinder, she just only owns GamerSups, and that's a W. But in her mind, she thought that because she owns GamerSups, that she owns V cards a 2. Again, we're assuming, and she thought it was the green light to talk about the stuff, and it's upset Lily because none of the stuff came out, and that's valid to be upset about it. You know what I mean? And W for her for trying to not let people know that it was Sinder, but everybody knew that it was Sinder, so. Everyone knew it was, so she was trying her hardest to not be like upset, but she was visibly upset, as you could tell, and she was very petty about it. And W to Sinder for trying to say something about it, and W for Lily for talking to her about it. And I just feel like that's where shit gets finicky, because it's like, you know, they just had like such a weird feeling about Lily after that instance. And because of that feeling that they were like, yeah, Nano, you don't need to work with Lily on this shit. You're trying to like dethrone us and shit. And I just think that's such a weird thing. And I don't think Red is good for her. I'll be so for real, bro. Then again, I don't know, man. She clearly cannot live without him. And it's so sad to see someone in that kind of relationship feel like they can't leave them because they depend on them. But I also will say, too, she is also at fault as well because, I mean, she's not a good partner either as well. Fuck, she cheated on him. And you're going to go back to someone that you cheated on. That's, in a sense, in my opinion, that's kind of pathetic of you, and that's pathetic of said person to go back to you because they got cheated on. And, it's so weird. And, I don't know. I just think she's got to get the fuck out of there. She needs to get away from Red, and Red needs to get away from her. They're both just not good for each other, and clearly they need each other. It's so fucking weird. I remember Lily saying one thing that stung me is where she said that Sinder was confronted about all this. Yeah, the doc makes it look like the ghosting up until the nano doc came out. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't understand. I don't know, dude. I don't understand that. I didn't really like watch. If Lily is saying that they were she was confronted, then that's a little weird. Because Lily didn't even reach out for the V cards, so she's clearly lying about that. I think someone on Twitter said it best. They should stay together so that they are out of the dating pool. That's true. I remember Lily saying that. Yeah, that could be a huge lie. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I will say the Cinder stuff. I think I've more so felt bad for Cinder. Or not Cinder. Fuck, Silver. Sorry. Yo, Cinder knew what she was doing picking that name. I felt more bad for Silver. I felt bad for Silver. I felt bad for Bao for being thrown in it. In a sense, I think it's a W that Lily is standing on business, but at the same time, girl, back it up a bit. You know what I mean? Love you, but back it up a bit. And I feel bad for Numi too because she got lied to as well. I feel bad for all the other girls that were involved, and I think more so I just feel bad for Silver because she has a very weird obsession over her, and it's very schizo. It's so like, what the fuck is she doing? And you could tell. And the funniest thing is, like, when I read all of it, I was like, yo, she has like this weird stalking obsession over her. And then for her to like claim that she was copying her, yo, Silver Nut like didn't want anything to do with you in the first place. Why would she want to copy you now? You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Red picked the name. That's so pathetic.
That most people have a predetermined bias that they
Cinder is awful because everyone said so. My apology. Cinder is awful because the apology sucked. Here's 1,000 pages that prove not everything as it seems. Lol, that's too much. I already made up my mind. Nobody cares. This community is so dumb. Wait, does this person forgive Cinder? Does she forgive Cinder? What is happening?
don't want to change, and anyone who didn't read the majority of the document made their opinions to
The summary is worthless. If you had taken the time to genuinely analyze the document instead of giving up and making assumptions about the rest, you'd find several instances backed up by evidence that Nano lied about Red and Cinder's action towards him.
early. Regardless of where you fall
Oh,
on
that
the
person is on Cinder's side. Got it. That makes
spectrum,
sense.
do not harass anybody involved in this situation.
That's a pretty long react chat. I'm not gonna lie.